How you been, buddy? How are you doing? Because I'll tell you how I'm doing. I'm going nuts. I'm losing my mind, you guys. I've been steadily losing my mind for, I don't know, over the course of the past decade. But only now do I really realize just how insane our society has gotten. Because we as individuals, we like to think we're living in the modern era. Like, oh, we look back at people living in the past and we go, oh, they were so barbaric, and they would cut their children's head off and toss it down the temple steps. What morons. And I look at that and I go, they're going to be saying that about us in the future, right? They're going to look back at this time period and go, these guys were nuts, assuming we even have a future, because I don't think we're going to make it that far based on what we're doing right now. What are we doing right now? We're arguing about wizard games for children. This is the most important political topic of all time. We're not talking about homelessness, climate change, war spending, whatever else. No, the most important thing to our modern era is a children's video game about wizards. I don't understand. I don't understand. This is the subject of intense political debate, and if you buy the wizard game, are you a good person or a bad person? And I'm getting sucked into it. Why am I talking about it? Am I part of the problem? I don't know. But we're going to talk about it. What are we talking about? Of course, Hogwarts Legacy, the most problematic video game ever made. Before we get into it, I want you to click that button down there. Join the Veto Nation, subscribe to the channel, and let's try to make our way through this craziness. Okay, so this is Hogwarts Legacy here on the screen here. It is a new Harry Potter video game. Now, what can I say about Harry Potter? I've never been a huge fan, but, kids like it. I get it. I have my own weird narrative problems with it, just as a writer. I think it has some huge if you establish your world has time travel, that's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. Why is there a time travel element to Harry Potter? Anyway, but obviously the ongoing concern is whether or not you can morally support Harry Potter, or whether doing so makes you a bigot. Now, this is a debate we've been having ever since this new Harry Potter game got announced. Here we have, from all the way back in September of 2020, from Stacey Henley, I believe is a transgender writer, why she's not buying the Harry Potter game. Because for those of you who don't know, and here she says, seeing it in the PlayStation Direct, I mean, this was back when they announced the PS5, they announced this game. She saw the Harry Potter game, and, it gave me a shock. I knew that this would put Harry Potter back in the headlines and cast an even brighter spotlight on J.K. Rowling and her harmful transphobic views. J.K. Rowling has proudly declared and displayed her transphobic views numerous times. It would take too long to describe her full history of transphobia, but here's a variety of things. Now, I'll say this. I shouldn't even be talking about this. Transphobia, okay? There's layers here. No one should hate trans people just for wanting to exist and live their lives, whatever. I don't care if you want to call yourself a girl and wear a dress, and it's fine, okay? But there are complications when you get into the legal aspect of it. And it's not just you, in private wearing a dress. It's you saying, and I've been arrested and I want to go to female prison. Or, and, I used to be a basketball player. Now I want to play in the WNBA. Those are very real and important questions. I want to go to a women's crisis center where, a bunch of women are there who have been victimized by men. And all of a sudden I show up and, I don't shave all the time and might freak some of them out. There's very real conversations to be had. I don't think J.K. Rowling is a bigot. I really don't. She obviously doesn't agree with your modern definition of gender. She doesn't think men can become women and vice versa. But I also don't think that she's out there saying, I want you, to die. I want someone to do horrible things to you. I don't want you to have a job. I don't want you to have employment. I don't think she's saying that. She's raising very real concerns that you can't just sweep under the rug. You can't just go, anybody can change their gender at any time and go to women's prison. And then we find out, in women's prison, people are getting horrible sexual things. I can't talk about it on here. I'll get demonetized. Regardless, I think, whatever. She has some concerns. I don't think she's like a hate monger. But I will say, look, if you're a transgender person, you think J.K. Rowling is campaigning against you and your people, that she's, helping create laws that can harm you, I can understand you making the personal decision to say, I can't, have anything to do with Harry Potter because it would support a woman who, again, is harming me and my community and whatever else. That's fine as a personal decision. The problem we're getting into is that people are now trying to push that personal decision on all of us. They're saying, not only can I not support J.K. Rowling, but if you purchase this Harry Potter video game, you are a bad person. In fact, you are harming transgender people. I need to make one quick point. Let's be clear. It's not buying the Harry Potter game is going to put a little extra money in the billionaire's pocket. Yes, okay? But this woman has film deals, book deals. She's making countless amounts of revenue from the licensing of Harry Potter. The idea that you're going to boycott it to try and harm her or to prevent her from having money, guys, I hate to say it, it's a futile battle you're fighting. I've also seen people say, it's okay to boycott it because the developers of the game have already been paid. Well, guys, that's not really how it works. Yes, they may have gotten their salaries, but obviously the studio making this game wants the game to do well so that they can continue employing those programmers and game directors and whatever else, and maybe they make a sequel, or maybe they make a completely different game. Regardless, if you boycott this game, you will hurt the people working at the game studio. You're going to hurt people who might completely agree with you, who might even be transgender themselves. So you really got to weigh whether your moral boycott, your attempt, is it really so awful to give the millionaire a couple extra bucks if you know that, I don't know, the 500,000 people or whoever amount of people are tied up in this game are going to have, salaries and continued employment? You got to do that balancing act for yourself. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. But here's someone who will tell you how to feel. His name is Will Overgaard. Now, I was not aware of this person. He's a Twitch individual, 4,000 followers. So I guess I thought maybe he was a bigger guy than he was, but I think he has a minor Twitch following. Okay, 4.5 thousand followers, which is not terrible for Twitch, but he's not huge. Regardless, Will really does not want you to buy this game, and he has made a TikTok video, which he also posted here on Twitter. Spoiler alert, I haven't actually listened to this, but I know there's been a big controversy around it, so I'm excited to finally hear what Will has to say.
Please do not support the upcoming Hogwarts Legacy game. Friends, colleagues, cohorts, the whole lot of you, I'm asking you very sincerely, please do not stream it. Don't make YouTube videos about it. Don't buy it. And don't bloody pre-order it. The reason being is that you may not be aware that by supporting this title, you are essentially aligning yourself with some really heinous transphobic values.
I gotta stop him right there. Buying a product does not align you with anyone's values. It is not an endorsement of the creator. It's simply saying that the end product you like intensely. I have watched films made by terrible people. I've watched what's his name? The guy who made The Pianist, the one who unfortunately used his penis back in, I believe, the 70s to do inappropriate things in a hot tub with a 14-year-old girl. Okay? God, why did I forget his name? Someone in the comments is going to give it to me. So I know it's a cliche to say separate the art from the artist, but here it's very easy to do because J.K. Rowling is actually not even making this game. I don't think she provided any of the plot. Obviously, she's not modeling it or coding it. It is so almost detached from her that, yes, she's getting a kickback as the creator of Harry Potter, but Harry Potter has become one of these, corporate franchises. That's like saying if I go to see the new Star Wars, I'm supporting George Lucas. George Lucas really doesn't have anything to do with it anymore. I mean, obviously, he sold his entire stake, so it's a little different, but it's evolved beyond its creator. It's almost no longer J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter. It's, frankly, Warner Brothers' Harry Potter. So maybe I'm going to align my brand with am I supporting the Warner Brothers values if I purchase it? It's just, when I buy Nike sneakers, I know they're made in a sweatshop, paying kids 15 cents on the dollar. Does that mean I support sweatshops? No, it means I need a pair of sneakers. It's very unfortunate, and if I have the opportunity to buy sneakers that maybe don't harm kids, sure. Although maybe I'm arguing against myself. Maybe I'm supposed to buy a game that no amount of money goes to J.K. Rowling. I should go purchase other games. But I think in the end, Nike makes a good pair of sneakers. Warner Brothers makes a good game. And you kind of have to outweigh the slight moral inconvenience of some of your money might go to something you don't like. Yeah, it sucks. But that doesn't mean that you 100% endorse that thing.
J.K. Rowling, aka Joanne, has made it extremely clear that they see the success of this title as being vindication of their transphobic views. That, by this title doing well, that means that they were correct. And honestly, you just have to look on the Steam forums to see the kind of people that are cheering for this game. Please don't be among them. If you weren't aware of all this, I'll do a longer video after this to explain a bit more of the nuances, but I just had to say, please don't support this game. Please.
Okay, so he's saying that there's people on the Steam forums now who are saying, well, if this game does right, or does well, sells well, that means that the world hates trans people. They're just as wrong as you are, guy. Why are you listening to the rabble in the Steam forums saying this game is a legitimate battleground for transgender rights? Those people are insane, and you're feeding into their insanity. This is something that was echoed by this Jesse Gender, a YouTuber who is frankly terrible. If you want some terrible takes on media, you can listen to her. Maybe she's a nice lady, but she's dumb. She says, activists are calling us transphobes for buying Harry Potter. I'm not a bad person. I just want to play a wizard game. Yes, exactly. That's it. People like the wizard game. What do you want? We're simple creatures that are on this planet for a limited amount of time. The idea that you find anything that brings you joy is a treasure. You found a franchise that has inspired you. I don't know why Harry Potter inspires you again. It's a little childish. But regardless, if it really is your favorite thing, and I've known people who are Harry Potter heads and they love it, and you want to figure out what house you're in, what wand you would have, and whether or not Draco would touch you gently in the night, fine. Okay, if that brings you joy, hold on to that and never let it go, because there's so few joys in this life. And the idea that people, again, we're in a terrible time, people, we're in an economic situation where people are barely have enough money to get around half the time, and they've found something that brings them joy. They love Harry Potter, and you're saying, no, sacrifice the thing you like, because buying Harry Potter stuff doesn't make you a transphobe, but what it is saying is you care more for entertainment than trans people. It says you're not an ally. So you cannot possibly, according to Jesse Gender, one of the dumbest people on this platform, you cannot enjoy Harry Potter and also be an ally for trans people. You could put 1,000 trans people through college. You could pay every step, full ride. You could find a trans person and get them dental surgery and a halo and a rocket car, and you would still not be an ally because you played the wizard game. I find this reductive and silly. This is this idea that there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, that everything you buy harms somebody along the food chain. Okay, sure. But the amount of harm I'm causing to the transgender community, again, by playing a wizard game for children, is so marginal. And here's my message to the trans community. And I say this all the time. Guys, I understand there are some things that you guys want that I totally agree with. Okay? I don't think anybody should be denied employment, housing, basic, necessities, food, shelter, whatever else, based on what they wear or how they talk or how they act. That's an American way of life. Freedom. If you want to put on a fucking ball gown and walk around town and call yourself the dog queen of England, God bless your heart. I'm not going to tell you that we're going to make it illegal or take away your rights or anything because of it. That's your right to do whatever you want. But when you come to me and you say, well, that support that you're giving us, that you want us to have these rights, is not enough. You also have to prevent yourself from enjoying this stupid wizard game. I go, guys, why is that the fight you want? Why do you care? Wouldn't you rather go to people and go, you know what, we as the trans community, we don't like J.K. Rowling, we don't support her, we're not going to purchase her game. If you want to do it, that's fine. We are a little disappointed, but ultimately we just hope that you will consider that maybe her private views are harmful to us and that you will continue to support our desire for basic human rights. Why not be the reasonable person in the room because we understand this is a very, exciting franchise. It's very important to a lot of you. It's part of your childhood. That's fine. We hope you can enjoy it. While also considering that maybe J.K. Rowling and her views on gender, some of them may be misplaced, some of them may be backwards. Okay? How could anyone argue with you about that? I think plenty of people would say, you know what, you're right. Thank you for making me think about it. I'm going to look deeper into what she said. I still enjoy what she ddid, and she's a great artist, and I enjoy what she's created, but it's possible that in the political sphere, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I'll look into it. I'll get informed, whatever else, and hopefully, at the end of the day, I still want to, support the trans community, again, in having, the rights that they deserve. But instead, the trans community is constantly picking the stupidest battles and going, you're not an ally if you like Harry Potter. Well, then you just tossed out how many countless thousands of allies. You had people, who probably would have supported you and listened to you and had that discussion. Instead, you've decided to throw them under the bus and cast them as villains because they played a Harry Potter game. It's silly. You're hacking off your own arm at this point. My God, you're like, this is not beneficial to you as a group. It goes one step further, though, and this is why ultimately I have to consider all of this just silly. Here's a response to Will, where Lev goes, as a trans person, I'm glad people are calling out JK being a TERF. But as a Jew, I'm dumbfounded you're not talking about the fact that the game is racist and anti-Semitic. The plot is a right-wing conspiracy. This has 7,000 likes. How is the game anti... And then they have this ridiculous assertion that because the game has goblins, the goblins are like Jewish caricatures. Guys, I hate to keep harping on this, but this is a wizard game for children. The way you're talking about it is silly. Why not? If you really care so deeply about the rights of trans people, as you should, again, I think there are still those common sense discussions to be had about can a former male play women's sports or be put in a women's prison. We need to have that discussion. But again, I don't think anyone should infringe upon your freedoms or your basic human rights. And why not focus your energy, if you're on Twitter, going after these politicians who do genuinely want to deny you your rights? There are right now bills trying to outlaw, drag queens. The mere idea of dressing as a woman could be illegal. It's silly. It's not silly, actually. It's serious. It's silly that they're trying to pass these laws, but if they ever got any traction, it would be a travesty. It's anti-free speech. It's anti-freedom. It's anti-American. So ultimately, and I have to urge the transgender community, is just, guys, let people have the wizard game. Just pick a better battle. Pick your battles. That's one of the most important rules in life you're ever going to learn. Pick your battles. And you have the option right now, again, to go after politicians who are genuinely toxic and trying to harm the transgender community, or to go at a British woman who might make, I don't know, $500,000 from some stupid wizard game, and just add it to her bank account and swim around in it like Scrooge McDuck, because she's got more than enough money than God at this point anyway. Why not pick a better battle? Stop going at J.K. Rowling and go at people who are a genuine threat to your community. I urge you, if you really want rights as a transgender person, the last person you should be going at is the stupid Harry Potter game. You know what? You can even fight with J.K. Rowling, but leave her stupid game alone. It has nothing to do with this fight. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments. Am I a transphobe? Because I tell you what, I'm gonna get that game. I have to now. That's the other problem, is you tell me if you purchase this game, you're a bad person. I go, you know what? I'm gonna be a bad person. Because I fundamentally disagree with the idea that the media I consume can define whether or not I'm a good person or an ally or whatever else. And I have to be a petulant child about it, frankly, and go, you know what? Then I will buy it. Because you know what? When you put a line in the sand like that, it's going to backfire every time. It's a terrible idea. Pick your battles, trans community, because this is the worst battle I think you've ever picked. But let me know in the comments, am I a transphobe? Don't forget, hit that button down there, subscribe to the channel, and please check out my podcast at youtube.com/biggestproblem. You're going to love it. We got more cool videos coming soon. Thank you for your donation. And we'll be streaming Harry Potter. Coming soon. We'll see. I'm excited.